So God just brought back to my memory how a few years ago, well, not a few years ago, a few would be two, but like, I don't know, maybe like 6, 7 years ago, how on Facebook, like some of my Facebook friends, some of the women who were on my Facebook friends list who didn't know me in real life, who didn't know me that well, they would inbox me and tell me personal details about their life, like private details about their life, and ask for advice. Now, they didn't know me from a can of paint. They just knew me from Facebook. And I would give them advice, and I would also keep their secrets and their personal business. They didn't know me, but they knew that they could trust something in me to give them some sound advice and to also keep their secrets and to not tell their business. God just brought that back to my memory, and I realize now that that was preparing me for the season and the place that I'm walking into now, coaching and counseling and ministering to women, not just widowed women, not just widowed moms, but women who are in different seasons of their life. Because not only am I called to widows and widowed moms, I'm also called to that wife, the one who's married, who has children, who has lost themselves in marriage and motherhood, and also that wife who may not be 100% happy in their marriage, and they may really be weighing the pros and the cons of staying in the marriage versus dissolving the marriage and co-parenting with their children. So I'm called to many different women in different seasons of their life. And the reason that I am able to even do that, what even qualifies me to do that, is because I have been that woman in different seasons of my life. So God just reminded me of that. And then fast forward from like 6, 7 years ago to like maybe 3 years ago, before my late husband even passed away, I remember very vividly one of the prophetic words that I received. I was at the altar at the church that I used to attend when I lived in Atlanta, and I was at the altar just crying out to God, praying about something. And the pastor, the apostle of the church, he was going to different people as he was led by the Spirit to minister a word to them. And he came up to me and he was like, God says, because you have survived the breaking, he can trust you with the broken. Now, this is before my late husband had passed away. Yet and still, I was going through some things in my life and in my marriage, but just the intelligence of God. That's not the word I want to use. What's the word I want to use? It's not intelligence. What is the word? Come on, Holy Spirit. Intelligence. Just the sovereignty of God is just amazing. Like, to be able for him to hear the word of the Lord and for him to minister that to me, having no idea where I was at in my personal life and in my marriage at the time. And then also ministering to me about where I was going to lose my husband, going to be a widowed mom. Same person on a different occasion, same apostle, pastor on a different occasion, gave me a word saying that I was going into Egypt and bringing 100 women out with me. Now, of course, I'm like, I don't really know what that means. Like, at the time, I was unofficially coaching women through Facebook and just encouraging them for free. But at the time, I wasn't a widow at the time. I had no idea that that was going to be a part of my story. I had no idea that I was going to start a YouTube channel just out of genuine necessity of having to emote and to tell my story and to walk through the journey of widowhood the best way that I knew how, talking and teaching and documenting via video marketing. Had no idea that it was going to attract other women all across the globe who could understand what I was talking about because they were going through it. So God is just amazing. He's just amazing. Like, when you sit still long enough and you think about the different seasons and the different times of your life and the different things that have happened, and like, you don't understand why they're happening or what they really mean at the time. But then when you begin to walk and you begin to step into who it is that God has already called you to be, it all begins to make sense. It all begins to make sense. It was necessary. Yesterday during my quiet time, I was doing some journaling. I was doing some work. I was doing some of my healing work, going back over some of the things that I skipped over the past 2 years. And my therapist, she recommended that I listen to that song because she asked me if I heard that song before. And I was like, no, I never listened to it. And she was like, you ain't listened to Fantasia song? It was necessary. And I was like, no, I haven't listened to it because my grief therapist, she's prophetic as well. I like to be amongst the people that can hear the voice of the Lord. But yeah, during one of our sessions, she was like, it was necessary. I was telling her bits and pieces of my story, and she was like, it was necessary. So yesterday, during my quiet time, my journaling time, after I finished writing and crying and releasing, I heard the song in my spirit, and I was like, let me pull it up on YouTube and listen to the song. And of course, the tears began to flow again, and I was like, yeah, it was necessary. Like, different parts of my journey and my story, even from before my husband passed away, like hurt like hell, like indescribable pain, not even physical pain, but like spiritual, emotional, mental pain. Like, I look back on all of that and I'm like, it hurt like hell, but it was necessary. So I don't know who this message is for. I don't know who this is going to minister to or speak to, but I just felt led to release this, and I pray that it blesses you. I pray that it blesses you right where you're at. Peace.